For today's video, I'm travelling to Castlegate in Dudley, and I'm looking at a man born in Dudley who inspired the Hollywood scene, directing films like Frankenstein, The Bride of Frankenstein, and The Invisible Man. And like I say, born in Dudley. Anyway, this is the story of James Whale. It's quite fitting that the memorial I'm visiting today sits next to a cinema here in Dudley, because the man it celebrates helped create some of the most iconic moments in Hollywood history. This is James Whale, born in Dudley in 1889. He came from a working class black country family, yet his journey eventually took him thousands of miles away to Hollywood, where he became one of the great directors of early horror cinema. And in 1931, Whale was given a film that would change everything: Frankenstein, starring Boris Karloff as the monster, and it gave cinema one of those moments that nearly everybody has heard. Nearly a century later, that line, that laboratory, and especially that image of Frankenstein's monster are still part of popular culture. But what I find really interesting about Whale's films is that the so-called monsters aren't always presented as simply evil. Quite often, they're the characters we actually ended up looking and feeling sorry for. Frankenstein's monster is confused, lonely, and rejected by a world he doesn't understand. And eventually, it's the frightened townspeople who form the mob, grab the torches and hunt him down. Suddenly, you start asking a question: who actually is behaving like the monster? And Whale returned to that idea again and again: characters who were different, isolated, or pushed to the edges of society. And that idea ran through many of Whale's films. After Frankenstein came The Invisible Man and The Bride of Frankenstein in 1935, films that mixed horror with humour, sadness, and real sympathy for the outsider. There's an interesting link to Whale himself too. He was gay and lived relatively openly at a time when that was far from easy. We can't say that directly shaped his films, but it certainly makes those themes of rejection and difference even more fascinating. And just remember where this story started. Not in LA or Hollywood, but Dudley. A working class black country lad went on to direct films that helped define horror cinema: Frankenstein, The Invisible Man, Bride of Frankenstein. And nearly a century later, we still know them. And the man behind them came from right here in the black country, Dudley. That's something we should all be definitely proud of.